Hi there, this is Bridget from the Planner Speechy. Welcome. Today I'm going to be planning for the second half of the week. So this is just going to be for July 24th through the 28th in my Caress Press inserts for my Aura Estelle planner. I'm going to be using this really sweet kit from Scribble Prints Co. called You David. This is a Schitt's Creek inspired kit. So if you're not familiar with the show, I highly recommend it. It's one of those shows that you can watch anytime and will always make you laugh, will always make you feel things. It's my comfort show, and I've watched it no less than 3 times. So I love to see all the different character representation here. I love that, like, of all the things they could have picked Moira in, they pick her in David's, like, wedding outfit where she's to the nines. But I love that the wigs are represented. So, of course, you have the Rosebud Motel. Instead of having a full box here, there's 2 little boxes, which I think is an interesting choice. You've got a bunch. I have 2 scenes here, so I have to 3 scenes, so I have to figure some things out. So this is their like fancy duds, and then there's only 1 sheet of flags, so I'm gonna have to get creative. And then this is the washi, and then of course you've got Alexis doing a little bit Alexis. And then every kit came with this freebie. This is such a fantastic shot. I just love all of them so much. Oh my gosh. Okay. So then I did pick up in the sale recently, this is in hollow foil, just the Ew David quotes. She doesn't have, Plana Hannah doesn't have a bundle for this kit, but I love that she has the quotes. So some of my favorites are, I like the wine, but not the label. I feel like this is an excellent way to describe pansexualism, everything. Fear not, she hath risen. If you're looking for an ass to kiss, it's mine. I think Stevie says that. Ew David is obviously Alexis. Apparently she only says it 3 times in the entire series, but it becomes like her catchphrase for some reason. Love that journey for me is another Alexis quote. I'm incapable of faking sincerity. And then tweet us on Facebook is definitely Mr. Rose. So, and gossip is the devil's telephone, best to just hang up. I'm pretty sure that's Moira Rose. So I am going to try and use as many of these as I can. I'm also going to be pulling in the sparkly hollow foil bundle from Scribble Prints Co. I don't remember the name of this one. I want to say, I'm not sure. But anyway, this is a really fun color. It's just sparkly hollow. We've got the overlays, we've got the underlays, which I feel like kind of match the hotel vibe of like, and then you've got lots of stuff, some bows, some shine, and that's that. So I'm gonna have like a little too much fun with this. But yeah, it might take me a second to figure out how I'm going to organize all of the boxes, but I'm going to speed things up and come back in a voiceover. But just know that I will be watching Schitt's Creek while I put this down so I can get some inspiration. And I suggest you do the same after you watch this video. All right, I'll see you in a sec. Hi there. So welcome back to another plan with me. This was sort of a short week plan with me, and I had all this amazing art to use, so I was kind of grateful because I did use the extenders, but I didn't really need them. It was more just so I could use all the art and keep it in my planner. Um, because I love this show so much. I started watching Schitt's Creek a little late. I remember they did like a mock-up walkthrough of the Rosebud Motel in New York for their final season. It was like a promotional tool, and I remember my boss at the time was obsessed with this show. She talked about it all the time. She loved it, and I just wasn't watching it. So I came to it later, probably when a lot of people did during the pandemic. So it's a fabulous show if you haven't seen it. It's one of those shows that takes a little time to warm up. But once it gets going, it is just such a heartwarming and lovely show. It makes you feel like cozy and you root for all the characters. It's just it's fabulous. I love it. Um, I can't think of a single character that I dislike either, which I don't think many shows do that well. Uh, I think Parks and Rec is the only other show I can really think of where I absolutely loved all of the characters. Um, but anyway, yeah, so I rewatched this recently, but what I like to do with a rewatch is I don't start at the very beginning of the show. I usually pick like the beginning of season 2 or season 3, and then I watch the whole thing, and then I can go back to the beginning because I hadn't actually rewatched it yet, and it's kind of fun to go to the end of a show and then be able to watch it from the beginning. So that's just something I recommend if you're doing a rewatch of any of your favorite shows. It's just a fun way to do it, and um, it's fun to see them go from like the last episode to the pilot. But yes, I love Catherine O'Hara. I love Eugene Levy. I love Dan Levy. I think they're all fantastic um, actors and writers, and they're all geniuses in their own right. And I didn't really know that most of the actors on the show were Canadian, which is kind of funny. Um, but anyway, I would stay at a Rosebud Motel, absolutely. And I kind of wish this was a real corporation. I think there it could be a real corporation. And people would definitely pay money. But Stevie is also great. I love Stevie. Um, she reminds me of a very good friend of mine from childhood who like I adore. So um, I decided to feature Moira in her wedding day outfit, which was I think the last episode of the show. Um, and that was probably the most fabulous wig. But I'm really happy with the way this spread turned out. Sparkly Hollow has never worked better than it does in this spread. I feel like this was just such a perfect pairing. So if this kit ever becomes available again as a pop mystery, I will probably repurchase it because I think it was just really fun to use. I'd love to hear in the comments what your favorite moments from the show were if you've watched it. It's hard for me to pick just one. I really love Fold in the Cheese, which is classic, a little bit Alexis. And then I think my absolute favorite moment from the show is this scene where they're at Mutt's barn for a party and the whole family just starts dancing together. I think I've never cried harder. It was such a fabulous moment. And I don't even think Patrick was on the show yet. So, anyway, I just decided to add all the quotes in to different places. Normally, quotes can be tricky because if they cover the majority of the character art, it like doesn't make it fun. But um, there were so many good quotes, and I liked the font choices that Planahan picked for that. It's easy to read. You can see the different characters beneath them. So the only one we didn't have a good match for was Patrick didn't have a quote. So I actually gave one for Roland. And actually, Roland is not featured in this set. Um, Nor is his wife, nor any of the other, like Twyla's not featured in this set, and Alexis had 2 full sets. So I feel like next time, if they were going to redo this art, they should add more characters. I think that would be fun. But anyway, so thank you so much for continuing to watch my plan with me. I really appreciate all the views, and I hope you enjoy this one. So I am going to come back to the day by day in just a moment. But yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so let's get into the day by day. The first thing that I marked, and I'm not color blocking, so I'm gonna go with this like cute little, there we go. I have this fun little axolotl. I was really, really tired. I did not sleep well the night before. I did not. Okay, How about I zoom in just a smidge more so you can kind of see? Whenever I work with this kind of foil where it's like a foiled Pixie Hollow or something like that, it's really hard to read. So I wanted to make sure you guys could follow along because that's the fun part, right? I had crazy nightmares in the middle of the night and I don't even remember what they were now, but I was so, I don't usually get nightmares, and I think it's because I was on all those like fun drugs the day before, so super fun. The next thing I wanted to mark is that I finished a book, so I'll use this fun little patterned guy to mark that. I finished I Did Warn Her by Sean Gilbert, which is the escape room style mystery about, was sort of like Below Deck meets murder, and it was great. I liked it. I was surprised by one of the twists, but I figured out the other one, so you know. And then I'm gonna give this one like a bigger thing here because this was kind of a big deal. So if you've been following along with my story, I am going through IVF and I did have an egg retrieval. So the day after the retrieval, they tell you how many were mature and how many fertilized. So that number that you get at the very beginning is always going to go down. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. So I was really, really grateful because I actually had a decent number of mature embryos, and I'm gonna have to be like a little creative with this because I didn't really give myself a lot of space. And I've lost my pen, which is always exactly what you want to lose when you're doing a plan with me. So let's see. I don't have to write too much, but I did have to write some things. Okay. So it was 10. 10 was the number of mature eggs that I had, which was really great. And then I got the second number. The second number was a little, is the more relevant number actually. So I probably should have switched that puppy out. But I am going to write this number in for myself. It's not something I'm going to share publicly yet. Okay. But I will fill that in myself. The next thing that I marked is that I watched Law & Order. Shocker. I do a lot of Law & Order. And I also cross-stitched. So I'm going to add that in. My little scripty. And I'm gonna use, I'll use like one of these fun shapey doohickey things. I guess I have to use this one because that comes next. I'll just put that in. I'm getting creative with this. Like that. Okay. So this is still, we're still on Thursday here. So Thursday, sorry. I was in a lot more pain this day. I feel like sometimes you never really know like what's going to be the thing that gets you. But this was me. I was not doing so great. And I had the pain meds, but I like really didn't want to take them, you know? So just go ahead and fit that in. And then this girl is from Stick with the Plan Co. She's so cute. I'm gonna write that in later when I can find my good pen. Okay. So I wanted to, we needed to buy groceries, but I just didn't feel like getting in the car. I could have at that point, because you can drive after 24 hours, but I just did not want to drive. So I will use another sticker to mark that, and now I'm on. I'm gonna use this fun guy. See how I'm getting like, I'm just gonna put that in the middle because this one actually has text on it. So I'm just gonna leave her there. Can't be arsed. This is from, these stickers are both from Stick with the Plan Co. They're excellent. I love her shop, but she is in the UK and she has actually stopped doing these as frequently because they're customized. I kind of wish that she would just have like the pastel haired ones available all year round, and then the customized ones with the you can change their hair. I feel like the pastel ones are great for year round, and I'd rather have them available year round. But and I did, to cheer myself up, watch Schitt's Creek. This is from the sticker party for TV Thursday. She only puts these out a few times a year, but she's doing hers on August 28th, which is next Thursday. So not this Thursday, but next Thursday. And then the last thing that I will mark is that I was in my feelings, and I'm going to use a movie marquee to mark this because why not? This is what happens when you don't have your normal sticker sets. But it was a pop mystery, and so I can never get a new one. Okay, so we were doing right, left, so we'll do it like this. Right, left, whatever. Doesn't really matter. And that sticker is from Once More with Love. All right, moving into Thursday. So now I actually need my Thursday stickers. Where are you hiding? There they are. Okay. And this is actually a really cute plaid print, so kind of sad that I didn't have all of these to use, but and we are looking at the 25th. This is a fun font. I really like this font for the glitter, and that looks so good on the dark green. Yes. Alexis Rose would be pleased. Okay. So now we're back to where did she go? There they are. Okay, I was like, where did all my stickers go? All right, so we can use a lovely little thing for this. The first thing that I marked for Friday is that I read. And I'll use this fun little patterned creature to mark. I don't know why I'm putting it so far up. Mark that I read, and I have this little book from the bundle and a red script. What did I read is the question. Supremacy. Oh, so I checked out this book. It's called Supremacy, and it's all about AI and sort of the history of AI and how it was built and where it came from. And I thought it was good. I'm reading it because my husband is a software developer, and I am trying to find out more about what his job really is. And he is not an AI developer, but actually technically he is now, because that's sort of a project he's working on. But anyway, it's a whole dynamic, and everything is kind of shifting, and I'm concerned about people keeping their jobs. So that's where we're at with that. The next thing that I marked, definitely little thing worthy, is I had a yogurt. So exciting. And I have this fun little sticker party. And I will write breakfast. And then the next thing that I marked is that I cross-stitched. Are we surprised? No, we shouldn't be. That should not be a surprise. I'm going to use this patterned little thing. And I don't even mind that I'm using like all little things in like strange spaces, because I feel like, look how cute this underlay is. It's like a fun pixie color, and so I'm glad I'm not covering it all up. But that little axolotl and that script are from Carly Plans. The next thing that I marked is that I had lunch with Frank. So I use this fun little patterned little thing. And I've got my little foiled knife and fork and my with Frank script. I'm trying to use up all of these because these were like from a month thing that I got. And yeah, I want to use them all up. All right, so the next thing that I'll mark, and I'll use this, or I already used a pattern up there. Let's use a black and white. Actually, you know what? I have this fun little thing I haven't used yet. I did pull stickers. So that is from Scribble Prints Co. And then I will write pull stickers right there. So that is the first page. I'm just gonna say, because it's not even 2 full days. I love this quote. Okay, so here I'll do a quote read. I like the why, not the label. This is an excellent monologue about pansexualism, and if you have not seen this scene, just Google I like the why, not the label, Schitt's Creek, and watch it. It's amazing. This says, gossip is the devil's telephone, best to just hang up. I can't do a Moira Rose impression. Tweet us on Facebook is excellent. Love that journey for me. I mean, I feel like Alexis has so many good one-liners. She could have her own sheet. And then this one is, I'm incapable of faking sincerity. So good. All right, so that's the first page. And then the second page, we will get into continuation of Friday. This quote is actually attributed to Roland. Patrick didn't get any quotes in the quote sheet. But I feel like it's a sprinkle could have been a good one. But anyway, so, but it says, if you're looking for an ass to kiss, it's mine. Which I wish I could use that in my workplace. I cannot, for double reasons, but anyway, so the next thing I'll mark is that we needed groceries. So I did go grocery shopping this day, and the last thing I used, so I will use I use this fun patterned flag to mark that. And I have a grocery shopping script from the bundle. No! Okay, that was nice. And that is like unreadable unless you're really close. So, okay. So I did do grocery shopping and I did cook dinner. So I got this incredible cookbook from Matteo Lane called Your Pasta Sucks. I really love Matteo Lane's comedy. I think he's hilarious. But I did have to learn how to cook Italian food because I'm not Italian and I was not raised to cook Italian food. So I'm gonna use this big old flag for this. I'll put it over here. I like how big it is. Usually I don't, but whoa, that was so off center because I can't see. in this lighting. Hi! I love it. He's a flopping panther. That's my husband talking to our cats. Love them.
I love you.
Hi guys, sorry I'm back. I had to take a couple of days hiatus because we had family staying with us and it was crazy. So getting back to Friday, so after Publix, I came home and I made this incredible pasta carbonara, like using egg and shredded pecorino romano. It was very strong, but it was delicious and I loved it. My husband doesn't love like strong cheeses like that. And so I said that I would make it for him again, but I would choose a different cheese because that cheese was too strong for him. But it was delicious. Okay, and so the last thing I wanted to mark for Friday is that we watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The show is making a little comeback, which is always fun. And it looks like I used a solid, so I will go ahead and just mark that with a very cute pattern. And then this says, watch TV. And then I have this cute little TV sticker. And then after that, I marked that I did some reading. And I don't remember what I was reading. So we're just gonna do one of these little pattern doohickeys. Because I haven't used one of the big pattern ones yet. And I will use this cozy reading sticker from Carly Plans, and I'm just going to I will just say cuddle time. This is a script that I have from the whoops, and that is crazy sideways. Do you guys ever have stickers that just want to stick and they don't care where you want to put it? They just want to go down? Because that guy definitely did. Okay, there we go. Cuddle time, and that was my Friday. Moving on to Saturday. I need a new date cover and I need my numbers. So this is the 26th. I really love this font. It's kind of like a handwritten font for the numbers. I think they're so cute. Okay, so the first thing I marked, and let's see, I marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things, but I do have a ton of space here. So, and I then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I might just, yeah, 10. I could do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, because this is also an extender because I had so much good art. So I think I'm just gonna do it like that. Okay, so moving on. The first thing that I'll mark is that I was really sleepy. I was sleepy AF, so I'll just use a green pattern to mark that. And I have this super cute girl with her kitty. I think that's from Rabbit Hole Crafts. So I was just really tired. I did not sleep well. Cats were relentless. They would not leave me alone. And that is a real bummer when I'm just trying to chill out. Okay, So the next thing that I will mark, and I will use a cute pattern guy, is that I made avocado toast. Are we surprised that I made avocado toast? You shouldn't be if you watch this channel at all. So that sticker is from Scribble Prints Co. And then that sticker is from Planet Hannah. The next thing I marked was that I watched Law and Order. So cute. That is cray crooked. I do love having these foil underlays down because they look pretty, but also because they save my butt for stuff like that because it's so much easier to pull up. I did some cross stitching and I watched Law and Order SVU, and then I also did some cleaning. I'll use a bigger thing for that because this was quite an undertaking. I cleaned, let's see, perfect. I cleaned our microwave, which I used the little trick where you're supposed to put vinegar in a cup and then you let it sit. You brew it for a minute or a few minutes, and then you're able to wipe everything down much easier. And it was a nice little trick, I have to say. It was very nice. Okay, under She Hath, Fear Not, She Hath Risen, Moira Rose. I did also have lunch, and we had arancini with meat sauce, and that was so good because it was delightful. I had quite a time with that. So what I want to do, because I'm out of these, like, I guess I could use a patterned, no, you know what, I'll use this to mark that because she's cute. And this is from Scribble Prints Co. This is like pasta in a bag. And with Frank. And then the next thing I'll mark is that I got some Happy Mail, which was really fun for me because I love a good Happy Mail. And I've already used my green. Stuff's getting tricky. Okay. It's really not. There's a lot of little things, and that like just barely fits into the little things, but I was very excited to get this Happy Mail. And then I immediately filmed my sticker haul right afterwards. So I have something to mark that, because that was really fun. And here's my little YouTube creature, and I am just gonna mark, it's gonna say, let's see, it's gonna say YouTube binge, but I just kind of marked watching YouTube. Okay. And so I wasn't done with my cleaning binge. I still had to do some vacuuming. So I will go ahead and use this fun sticker to mark that. I have this cute little kitty from Carly Plans. She's on a little vacuum. And then I have a script from Carly Plans that also says vacuum. When you have 3 cats, you have to vacuum a lot. I should vacuum every day, but I only vacuum once a week because I'm disgusting. But I did vacuum the stairs. And then the next thing that I'll mark, which was really, really fun, and I'll put that here, was that we had a big old barbecue. So our neighbors were having a little cookout, which is always nice. This is so nice. Our neighborhood is the best because everyone has had us over for barbecues and stuff. We haven't had people over really in our house, and I feel a little guilty about that. It's just that I'm not good at entertaining, and our house is not set up to entertain the way their houses are. And so I kind of feel like we're still working on that part of our house, but we will get there. I am not worried about it. And then the next thing that I'm going to mark, and I will use one of these, is that we were up late. We brought the pie that I was so worried about leaving behind, so that was nice. The cookout was really fun. But I went home around 10 because I was really tired, and I was just like, I need to go to bed. So my husband stayed out until about 1 in the morning. So he came in at 1, which was fine. And hi. Okay, so this is technically actually, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. So I have this extra little half box here. It's like a scene. So I'm just gonna use it on the bottom here because it's so funny. I love it. Perfect. So that closes out Saturday. And then this is Sunday. So I'm going to mark this. The cats drove me bananas. That's from Once More with Love, that meow. It's from their like cat sheet. I was up very, very early. Fed the cats at 5:30 in the morning. Tried to sleep until 8:30. Would not. They were not having it. I was just not available, I guess. Here, we're gonna put that down. And then this was the 27th. Okay, perfect. So we've got this up early. Next thing I marked was that I was with my love. We were having breakfast. I will use this cute flag to mark that. And I have this little egg. And you know what? I'll do something to magnify it. I'm gonna put it on this little circle. So a little egg circle. And then with my love. So cute. And then the next thing I marked, and I'll use a pattern, is that I did some planning time. Actually, I should probably use something slightly bigger. Do I have anything bigger? No. So I guess I'm using that. Bigger. And that is so zoomed in. I hope this isn't making anybody dizzy. That is from Carly Plans. It was like a freebie sheet, and that says planning time. The next thing that I'll mark is that we had peanut butter pie for breakfast. I did film a plan with me. And then the next thing that I marked was that I folded laundry. So I'm gonna use my last big old patterned guy here. And I have my little axolotl from Carly Plans. She's so cute. I think her name is Avery. And then I folded laundry. I vacuumed, but I don't think I marked that. I did cross stitch and watch my cousin Vinny. And I'm gonna use a patterned box because I can. Because why not? You know what I mean? And that is the wrong foil color, but nobody cares, right? So we watched My Cousin Vinny, which is such a great movie. I just kind of put it on in the background and it was great. We'd both seen it before. I did watch my SLP Summit videos. So, and I'm just going to finish up the flags that I have because they're so big, but why not, you know? So I'm going to put in that I watched my SLP Summit. It was a series of videos that you could watch. And oops, it was awesome. I will use, oops. I'm going to go ahead and do my last patterned flag and put that in there. And I did sort of read my book club book. Let's see. Let me find a book Google thing here. I think I used all my book stuff already. Do I have anything that makes sense? You know what? I will mark that I was in my feelings today. Because I was in my feelings. So I have this little candle that I can use to mark that. I was very emotional about my procedure and all that stuff, and there's a lot going on. And then the last thing I'll mark is that my husband and I had dinner and watched Parks and Recreation. And that, there she is. She's all done. Super cute. Okay. So the next thing that I have to do is sort of fill in with the deco. These are all the flags I have left. Lots of little things. Surprisingly, little things are left. All right. So I have some really fun stickers here, and I definitely want to use like a lot of the big ones on this page. So let's use, like a lot of the stickers are big here. Let's use a Moira Rose outfit, and then maybe a Schitt's Creek sign. And we can do a Town of Schitt's Creek medal, and maybe a hat, and just do some big keys there, and can do David Rhodes sunglasses, and maybe a little thing there. What is that? It's like a Tom Ford bottle. Oh no, it's an it's a rose. It's a rose thing. And then on this page, I'm going to have to go back to this. I need to fill in some more. So we've got this giant candle and David's outfit. A lot of the costumes from the show were taken from his closet, like his regular closet, and he just bought a lot of things like on Poshmark, I think. Let's do like that because I want to keep most of it on the page. And we'll do some keys. The keys are kind of in the same place as the other one. The thing is, the deco is a little repetitive, which is kind of surprising because, like, there we go. And I didn't use, this is the only thing I didn't use, is, this is my husband's favorite part. That's okay. And I have to grab my scissors because when my friends came, I literally took everything off of this coffee table, you know, for like, so that they could use the room. And I'm glad that I did, but now it's also like I just have to be wise and careful. Definitely cutting actual pages off the other side, I think. And I'll do this little corner edge here. It's so hard for me to pick a favorite Schitt's Creek episode. I have moments from the show that I think everyone loves that I would agree. I mean, the quintessential one is Fold in the Cheese, but I think my other favorites have to do with Alexis. Like a little bit Alexis, I think is so good. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in my planner, which my planner is getting real thick now. We're at the point where she's getting real thick. We are midway through the year. Oh yes, Mama. My cat is sitting at the window howling because that's her job, because she's beautiful. And that's her job, to be beautiful. Okay, so you can see how kind of messy. I've got all these journaling cards here. I've got all this extra stuff. Okay. So here we are. This is the finished spread. I think this looks so cool. I have to go in and write some stuff in off camera, but I love the hollow, the sparkly hollow with this. I think it was absolutely the right move. I love that I got to use all of the art that came with the kit, and I am thrilled with how this came out. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.